Welcome back to the vlog. Did you miss me? It has been months. Months, you guys, months. If you are new here, my name is Emily. I am a NPC competitor in the bikini division. I did my first pro card attempt at Amateur Olympia this past fall, and I have since been in my off season. I also am an online fitness coach, and I also do bikini posing. So if you're interested in lifestyle or bodybuilding coaching, or you need bikini posing coaching, you can click the links below. Happy to help you out. Last year was a crazy year. I earned my Alpha Elite sponsorship from Summer Shredding. I began doing all my online coaching. I also have a full-time job, like a corporate job that I do. And I also started prep for my first national show runs to attempt for my pro card. With all that going on, I was traveling like every 2 weeks. It felt like every 2 to 3 weeks I was either on a plane or I was on a road trip somewhere, whether that be for my full-time job or if it was for my brand obligations or personal. It was constant. I was always going, and I really was determined to make it all work, to push myself harder than I've ever pushed myself. And I think that it paid off in a lot of ways. I achieved a lot of things that I wanted to achieve this year, but I will say that my prep suffered. Not just because of all that I had on my plate. I also was going through a rough patch in my relationship. That relationship ended halfway through the year, and all of that stress of it, I think, really kind of wreaked havoc on my body. I'm not blaming the relationship at all. I think it's just when you look at the full picture of everything, your body can only handle so much, your mind can only handle so much, your stress, your cortisol level. And that's why when you get into a prep, the first things that you'll hear from people is to make sure that your mental is in a good place, your finances are in a good place, and your relationships are in a good place. I say all that because I think it really plays into what my feedback was, what my look was like on stage, and I just think it's important information to kind of understand what led to this stage look and what we're doing going into this off season and into this year to rectify that. The purpose of this video basically is I want to take you guys through my show day look. I have the full recording of my class of prejudging and my individual routine. I want to showcase like who I was competing against, what I'm seeing from my own physique, what I'm seeing from the winner, the feedback that I got from this specific look, and just some things that I feel like I would have done differently. I feel like as a competitor, we are always trying to learn from one another, and if anything that I've gone through could help a future competitor, then I want to share that. Okay, so this is my individual routine at prejudging. So in prejudging, this is when you're first showing your physique to the judges, basically. And so sometimes different shows do things in a number of ways. This particular show, I came out and did my individual first, hung out on the sides until everyone finished their individual routines, and then we got brought out for comparisons. Sometimes if your class is really, really big, they will have you do comparisons first, and then you come out and do your routines, and then they'll do first call-outs. So that was my individual routine. Wasn't mad about it. Let me look at this one more time. One thing about this stage was it was squishy. You can see like my heels moving around. It was not carpet, it was like spongy material. And so what I usually tell the girls that I coach for posing is to practice on multiple surfaces so that you are not thrown off when this is what is on the stage flooring, because it does change. Like your feet get caught, like you can see my feet keep getting caught, and it's just because you don't really practice on spongy floor very often, right? Okay, so this is my class, a bunch of gorgeous ladies. When they like pulled us out into the line, I was like, slay, I'm in the middle, keep me here, which didn't happen. Okay. So they're having us do like our front pose, our back pose, and then from there they decide like moving everybody around. One thing I will say about like how this show ran, it did run really fast. It was smaller for a national show. But when they had us line up backstage, they had us line up so soon, and then they wouldn't let us get out of line. And so my coach was like, when you get in line, that's when you'll start pumping up. Okay, hold on. We're going to go through this really quick. I was just talking about how practice on multiple, like different kinds of surfaces when it comes to your posing. This is exactly why. When I go through and transition, watch right here, I kind of lose my balance on the sticky floor and have to reset myself. A lot of times competitors are worried that like if you stumble that you're gonna be punished for that. Just act like nothing happened. Like you would never know. You look at my face, like you would never know. Just keep posing, you're gonna be fine, right? Okay, so that I get moved all the way out. Sad moment. I was all the way out there and I was like, there's no way I'm all the way out here. So this is like really important. Like you always smile on stage. Like do not stop smiling. Do not stop making like contact with eyes with the judges. Pose like your life depends on it, because it's never over until it's over. So don't let out your gut. Don't look sad. Own your shit, and this is why. So eyes get moved in one, and I'm in my head. I'm like, thank God. And then they move me in again. I was like, oh, thank God. Because at this point, then I'm like, okay, I'm on either side of the center. Like, I'm really happy with that. So then they take us through and they keep comparing us again. So you can see right here, like these two girls are pretty much like they're running the show. Like their glutes are insane. Like this girl's structure was crazy. So when I'm looking like at my posing versus their posing, and I've watched this a few times, like you can see I'm not as conditioned in the tie-ins as these girls. I don't have the same glute projection and like density that these girls have. And then when you look at my upper body, I'm not creating that same shape in my upper body as they are either. I look very like straight up and down. And after I stumbled, I was like, you best believe I'm never stumbling again the rest of the show. I was so upset. Okay, so they keep us here for a little bit. They switch us again. We go back. So they were really trying. I was watching the judges when we were lined up there, and they were having so much discussion because they were trying to decide between these two girls, like who was first and who was second. And they just kept shaking their head like they didn't know what to do, because they were like so close. Like their glutes look great, but this girl ultimately, like she's the one that wins the class. Her shape and everything, her density, like it all looked so good. So you can really see like the conditioning in my glutes and everything are like not near there. The projection's not there. And then here, I'll go back. This is what I'm talking about. You see how she has this like full shape across her upper body, and then it comes to her smallness of her waist, and then it goes back down to her glutes. When you look at me, I'm looking a lot more straight up and down, and I think that can be, I need to develop more in general, but I do think that can also be done with posing. Like I could have changed out like how my arms were, like they're really close to my body. It's not creating enough shape for myself. So like looking back, like those are little things that are so controllable that like you can always change. A big reason why I'm going through this with you guys is because there's always so much to learn. There's so much to learn every show that you do. I always recommend buying these video packages, especially if you're serious about like climbing the ranks within your division and going for your pro card. There's so much that you can learn. Like I'm very proud of being able to bring the package that I could, considering how hard like my season was. And but at the end of the day, there's still so much more that I could have done and done better, things that were in my control and things were out of my control. The things that were in my control were my posing, and then we'll go over what happened lining up before stage. So you can see definitely like there's softness in my glutes compared to the winner, the first and second place. And then you can even see it like in my upper body compared to them. There's just like a soft, like look, this girl is like almost like has like she's capped off, like she's pretty etched. So her conditioning was there. This girl is like the perfect combination, right? Like she looks full, but she's conditioned. She has a great structure up top. And then if you look at like my shoulders, like if you look in here, this is like, I'm losing all of like the like detailing in my shoulders. Like I look full, but I just look kind of soft. And so I think a big mistake that I made when I was pumping up, so when they lined us up backstage, they lined us up and they're like, you cannot get out of line. Like they wouldn't let us out of line. And so I'm thinking like when you're lined up that we're gonna go on stage right away. We were lined up for like 30 minutes. So when I get lined up, my coach tells me when you get lined up, you need to hit yourself with your like honey, and I can't remember, it was like a gummy bear or something. Some gummy bears, honey, blah, blah, blah. And that's gonna be like your fast carb. And then you're gonna pump up and but go on stage. So I'm doing that, and then time goes by more and more and more, and I'm realizing we're not getting on stage. So I'm like pumping up forever. And the problem with that, when my conditioning was like so teetery-tottery, that going overboard with pumping can actually like, you can lose a lot of your definition. It almost gives like a spilling effect of like the carbs spill from in your muscles. It gave more of an effect of, yeah, maybe I looked full, but I didn't have like the detail that I had earlier in the day before I was doing all that pump up. So I feel like that was a big like mistake that I made on my end that I will never do again. I was really worried because leading into the show, I had a really hard time getting a pump, like in my pump up workouts that were like my final workouts. And so I was really worried backstage that I wouldn't be able to get a pump before going on stage. And I think I should have been less concerned about that, paid attention to the timing, and not feel so rushed to pump up. Because ultimately, like, I had the look, and I didn't need to be like pumping up like crazy. I wasn't like that flat. So if I could do anything different, it would definitely be that. I wouldn't have pumped up for so long, and I think that kind of hurt my look a bit. Okay, so as it relates to my off-season goals, I'm again like very proud that this was my first national show. I placed third. At this particular show, you needed to win your class to get to the overall, and then I think the top 3 overall earned their pro card. So I only placed top 3 in my height class, so I was not anywhere near being in the running for that. The feedback that they gave, let me pause this. The feedback that the judges gave me as soon as I stepped off stage was that I needed more density in my upper body. I needed to be more conditioned, which we knew. And they didn't mention my glutes, but in bikini, you just always know you need to be adding more depth and projection and density to your glutes. So that's always gonna be something that I'm working on. I think what is like my biggest frustration with all this is that this year, like if you didn't follow my prep series my 2024 season, I originally was going to do my pro card attempt in July at USA's. And a month out, my body was like still not responding the way that we knew that it could. And so I actually had to pull out of that show. I pulled out of that show and I reversed for about 2 months, held for another month, and then I believe we then went back into another prep, like cut again to do this show. And my body finally was responding. My coach and I had a discussion 2 weeks out that we knew this was not my best look. We knew that. That was like a very hard conversation I had. I had like the biggest breakdown. I was honestly devastated just because I felt like even though I had somewhat salvaged my season, it still felt like I was just frustrated that I couldn't bring my best this season, but I was determined to still give it my all, right? So we knew going in this wasn't my best look. When I'm looking at this look right here, like, it just is, it's not what I know I can bring. So that leads me into what I'm doing in my off season. I am not stepping on stage ever again. Just kidding. Sorry. I will not be stepping on stage this year. I have ran 2 full competition seasons 2 years in a row. And I know that the next time that I step on stage, I will not get on stage unless I know without a shadow of a doubt it is my best look. This year was very different in terms of me still stepping on stage at the end of the year. I felt like it was something I needed to do after how hard I had worked all year, after everything I had been through, you know, pushing myself harder than I ever had, losing a 6-year-long relationship in the process. I felt like it was something I needed to do, to complete. I had to do it. I had to complete it. Going forward, though, I will not be stepping on stage unless I know I am bringing my absolute best. And I'm not stepping on stage just to earn my pro card. I'm stepping on stage to bring a pro level physique that can walk directly into the pro league and begin competing right away. And so I would rather put the time in now to do what I need to do right now to ensure that I am competitive at the pro level right away. Because the last thing I want to do is just be in a rush to get my pro card and then I take another off season and then I can't compete as a pro. Like that is not how I plan to embark on my pro career as a bikini competitor. So this year is all about growth. It is all about development. It's all about pushing myself in a whole new way. I've never done a full off season before. And I'm excited to learn like what comes with that. I feel like it's an area that I haven't explored yet as a bodybuilder, and I feel like I truly need to experience that. And I'm just really excited because it's all perfect timing, you know, like I'm in a position right now where I'm building my coaching business even more with Team Reform. I'm building out my posing business as well. I'm setting up client retreats where our clients are all coming together and we're getting to experience those things together. I'm going to be putting on posing seminars this year. I have a lot of travel plans coming up. And I know after last year, everything that I handled, that I can handle this. I can handle anything in an off season if I could do it all in a prep. So I feel very fired up about 2025 and how that's going to set me up for 2026. And you best believe I am coming for it all. Make no mistake. So I'm back. We're vlogging. I've missed you guys. I've moved. I have a whole new life going on right now, and I finally feel ready to begin sharing all of that. So I hope that you guys are going to come along for the ride. So please subscribe, like, comment, notification bells, all the things. We're in it. Let's grow together. And I'm just honestly happy to be back. Even like just like filming and talking to you guys right now, like I already feel like even more fired up and just like excited about everything to come and being able to share that with you guys. I feel like myself when I'm vlogging, and I love this community so much on YouTube. Like, God, you guys make my heart just like explode. So I love you guys. If you are heading into your competition season, good luck. Reach out to me if you ever need encouragement. I'm here for you. I feel for you. If you're in your off season and you're struggling, I feel for you. I'm here for you. I'm with you. And I love you guys. I'll see you later. Mwah!